India is a vibrant democracy. Anybody that happens to go to New Delhi can see that for themselves.
A number of the deliverables at that visit are not just bullet points on a page. They are fundamentally designed to remove those obstacles.
This will be an opportunity to reaffirm the deep and close partnership between the United States and India.
Wow, these are some warm, welcoming reactions coming in from the United States of America. And looks slightly suspicious too, isn't it? I mean, not that USA has been going over and beyond to engage in a friendship with India, at least until a few years ago. So what is changing? Is it India's stable economy, assertive diplomacy, India's independent foreign policy, or is that China? You know that famous saying, Dushman ka dushman, dost. Remember, the United States of America since 1960s gave priority to a relationship with Pakistan, even providing them with weapons for years, despite India stating the dangerous activities of the Islamic Republic. But now possibly USA has realized that a country at the verge of collapse via administration, via economy, is not going to be of much help. USA, remember, was even nicer to China earlier, even today, giving confusing statements. So they have stood by dictatorial regimes, but finally realizing that tolerance, acceptance, and real democracy lies in India. Indian American community has shown a shared value via hard work and assimilation. Indian citizens have shown in maintaining a multicultural society, and that this is despite the most difficult neighbors around us. With China's expansion plans that India is bracing against, protecting its territorial integrity, so who better than India to send an olive branch to? So now, world's largest democracy meets the world's oldest modern democracy. Modi joins an exclusive group of leaders including Winston Churchill, Nelson Mandela, who have twice addressed the joint meeting of the US Congress in the past as well. Before Prime Minister Modi, only 5 Indian Prime Ministers have been able to give speech to the US Congress. Jawaharlal Nehru in 1949, Rajiv Gandhi in 1985, P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1994, Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2000, Manmohan Singh in 2005. But I want to take you even far back, not a Prime Minister, but one of the earliest examples is of Swami Vivekananda's visit to America in 1893. A young monk introducing Hindu religion to the United States of America or the Western society at large at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. Remember that he delivered a landmark speech celebrating universal acceptance by the Hindu faith of all religions. So then what's so special about this visit of Prime Minister Modi today? Prime Minister Modi has visited the US at least 6 times since 2014. So what's the big deal? This becomes the first full state visit. So will all of the paraphernalia, the flight line ceremony, 21-gun salute, and a White House dinner, and lots more. The state visit is the highest form of diplomatic exchange between two countries. It is reserved for closest friends and allies, and it can be made only on the invitation of the sitting US president. So is a global superpower and a rising superpower becoming friends? Something to ponder about. Remember all this after US once banned Narendra Modi to enter into the United States of America when he was then Gujarat Chief Minister, even revoking his visa in 2005, to today inviting him decades later on an official state visit to the United States of America. So interesting days ahead, but India looks ready to use this to our advantage. The General Electric F414 engine deal with the USA for manufacturing fighter jet engines in India will strengthen our Make in India in the defense sector. It will be a boost to the DRDO that will work with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and get expertise in manufacturing with shared technology. The Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity on Trade, Sea Guardian drones will be adding to India's arsenal in both trade and defense. Now surely there is a lot of buzz around Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States of America. But back in 2015, American media acted indifferent. There was an almost negligible coverage when Prime Minister Modi had visited the USA. It appeared deliberately not being given prominence. But India was otherwise on the radar of the Western media. Compare this to India incidents otherwise covered widely across Western media, but Prime Minister Modi's visit was given an almost negligible coverage. Then came this recently. Now, I was pleasantly surprised at first. The Economist, a widely read international newspaper, in its editorial, America's new best friend, India is indispensable, sounds good on the surface. Then I read the fine print. Is someone trying to act too smart with this cover image that clearly looks inspired from this popular Netflix show? But please know that today, my country is not anyone's pet animal, nor of America, surely. The article then goes on to state, Few big democracies have slid further into the rankings of democratic freedom. But you will not guess it from the rapturous welcome that Narendra Modi receives in Washington. But some of these surveys have been shocking, with their bias ranking Afghanistan and Pakistan above India, to say the least. And this is not the first time that India has been looked at with an animal metaphor by The Economist, an animal trying to be tamed. This, and then this one. So even now, the tiger is used as a reference, but never roaring. Even if our economy is better than Europe and America, but something as an animal that must be patted like a caged animal. Like I said earlier, no matter what India does, the Western press will always be patronizing toward us. One Indian journalist further brilliantly explains this derogatory messaging used against India. And yes, India buys oil from Russia even during the war, but if that makes it prop up the war economy, the West is way more guilty of it. More than 3,600 shipments of wood, metals, rubber and other goods continue to flow into the US from Russia. So much for all that anger against Russia and the support for Ukraine. Germany was the biggest importer of Russian oil 2 months into the conflict, according to Finland-based Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. Why can United States of America not ignore India anymore? With a population of nearly 5 million, Indian Americans are the second largest immigrant group and fastest growing voting bloc in the US today. The impact is evident at the ballot box, at the US Congress, in the technology industry, in the contribution to American society. So going by all of this, I can conclude, but with a twist, on the title of A.L. Basham's book and say, the wonder that is India and will always be. Thank you for watching.